Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Speaking of dangerous, okay, we entered the season thinking Michigan State was going to be just that. They walk into Little Caesars Arena yesterday, and a 4-5 Michigan State team runs Baylor off the floor. It was 29-9 when you looked up at the scoreboard early on. I'm sure you guys like me were busy rolling around on a Saturday watching different games, but then you look at your score app and you're like, wait a minute, what? Michigan State's
Yeah.
doing what to Baylor? That's what happened. 88-64 over the Bears. So Jerel McNeal, are you on this Michigan State bandwagon? Was yesterday the start of Thomas Izzo rallying the troops?
Yeah, I think yesterday was the obviously the back against the wall moment. The wounded animal. We kind of got to fight our way out of this hole we dug ourselves in moment. But it was much needed. It was much needed. But to be honest, I think we kind of got an opportunity just to get a small glimpse into kind of the team that everybody thought that they were signing up for this year. But more than anything, it was just great to see that edge. That was the edge that we were kind of all been looking for from a Michigan State, a Tom Izzo type of team. They came out right from tip off and they handed it to Baylor. And there's no shame in Baylor. Obviously, it was a game that was it in Detroit, which is essentially
Yeah, it was a Michigan State home
yeah,
game.
it's a home game away from home, but at the same time, it's a Baylor team that had been rolling as well too, and they haven't played a ton of great teams, but the teams that they have played, they handled pretty well so far. But Michigan State, it was a great sign. It was great to see those guys fight, and it's gonna be an uphill climb from here. Obviously, they kind of need to keep this thing trending in the right direction. But yesterday, getting their first, I would say, quality win of the year was a really good start. I'm not buying in just yet. They're gonna have to put together a couple more for me to jump back on the bandwagon. But it was a good start for sure.
Collective
Okay,
scoring is an
T.O.
issue, Fanta. Collective scoring
Collective
is an
scoring.
issue. Say that again.
Collective scoring. Explain to folks what you mean by that.
Yeah, Tyson Walker went for 25. Hogard decided to show up. He had 14, and then Trey Holloman goes for 11. So, like collective scoring. What happens if Tyson Walker is off? Like it's not going to be good, and we've seen that thus far. I had a buddy of mine who is a compulsive gambler. He hit me up. He was like, "Hey, what do you think about this Gonzaga UConn?" I said, "You go
Was
ahead
it
and
Rob
ride
Dauster?
UConn because,
Was it
huh?"
was it Rob Dauster?
Wasn't Rob because Rob gambles for UConn every game anyway because he's a degenerate. But this is a different friend of mine. He's like, "Hey, what's up with UConn Gonzaga?" I was like, "Hey, you want free money? Go ahead and grab UConn." And he goes, "Oh, okay. Well, okay." So he wins. The next day he calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, look." He's like itching. He's like, "What do we think?" Baylor's only 3.5 point favorites over Michigan State, and everybody's calling me and telling me to hammer Baylor. I was like, "That's a bad idea." Because this is a dog with his back up against the wall, and it's a big dog, and he's got a couple bruises. But these dudes, when they play hard and they play well together, Michigan State's still that team that we thought about. They've got to figure out other ways to score. It can't just be Tyson Walker because let's be honest, Tyson Walker's 6'1", buck 90. Like that's tough, and you can be a go-to scorer, but it's really hard to be a go-to scorer at that size, especially when you get into the tournament, especially when you get into Big Ten play. He's going to be good. I get all that. He'll have a great year. He might even be first team All Big Ten. But you have to find more ways to score if you're Michigan State. This was a home game for them and an absolute must-win situation for them to really generate any type of major momentum because they missed out on opportunities for resume wins. And a lot of people are like, well, it's Michigan State. They're going to get the benefit of the doubt. And they're right. They're right. But you got to have at least one big non-conference win, especially with as many as they've played. I also think that Michigan State's going to look really good over the next 4 games. Oakland is good. Rocket Watts, Michigan State transfer is there. Campy, we all know he does a good job over there. Oakland's going to be good, but they should win that game. They play Stony Brook. They do a pretty good job. Michigan State should win that game. And then they go up against Indiana State and Josh Schertz. That's going to be a tougher game than I think people realize. And then you have Penn State. After that, you're jumping in at toes deep. They got Northwestern right after that, and Boo Buie, who's the best guard in that conference right now. So I'm curious to see, can Michigan State let this snowball keep getting bigger? Can you generate some momentum? And can you find a consistent second score? That's the big question.
We'll see if they're able to do that. Hoggard has been steadier. The big thing for me, how do you find more scoring? Michigan State had 21 fast break points in the win over Baylor. They got out on the run a little bit more, and that created some easier scoring opportunities for the Spartans.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.